Derrick Rose has officially gone from wanting $150 million to getting paid $2 million. He just signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers, but what does this mean for Cleveland? What does this mean for Derrick Rose? And what does this mean for the rest of the NBA? Because this signing is actually more insane than you think. Derrick Rose, not long ago, MVP of our league. Not long ago, a franchise player. Not long ago, was a guy that you could build a team around. Now, he's gone from wanting $150 million to getting paid $2 million. Cleveland, I think you have a steal in Derrick Rose, and here's why. Number one, Derrick Rose is playing in Cleveland with what we all know now as, in the simplest term, a tricky situation. Cleveland doesn't know if LeBron James will re-sign in 2018, and as we all know, in recent news, Kyrie Irving has demanded a trade to leave Cleveland. So, when you think about it, like I said, it is a very tricky situation. But for Derrick Rose, this is a chance to rejuvenate your career. You've just gone from averaging 18 points per game, shooting 47% in New York. Now, when you go back to New York last season, this team was, well, to say the least, a really odd team. A triangle offense with Phil Jackson that didn't work. Kristaps Porzingis, who was a young player mixed with Carmelo Anthony, an aging superstar. It just wasn't a great fit for Derrick Rose in my opinion. I knew from the moment he set free agency this season, he was gonna join a contending team. Now, I did think that he was gonna join the San Antonio Spurs, but that's only because I thought that they'd have the most cap space. I didn't really think that Derrick Rose would go from wanting $150 million to signing a veteran's minimum. $2 million. I had no idea that he was going to do that. But now that I think about it, well, he wants to join a contending team, and at the moment, you only have a few contending teams. You've got Golden State, Cleveland, the San Antonio Spurs, the Boston Celtics, and, well, depending on what happens, the Houston Rockets. But if you're Derrick Rose, you're not going to go sign in Houston. They just got Chris Paul. If you're Derrick Rose, you're not going to sign in Golden State. We all know why. So, the two options were the two other contending teams, Cleveland and the San Antonio Spurs. Derrick Rose now gets to play with LeBron James. And a fun fact for you guys, when you think about it, the only MVP winners up and from 2009 to the 2017 season have been Derrick Rose, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant. Those four guys, well, they play on either Golden State or Cleveland. How crazy is that? Now, why would Derrick Rose want to sign with Cleveland? Well, when you think about it, this is his main chance to rejuvenate his career. He's gone from being an MVP to, well, a guy that we don't really see as a starting point guard in the NBA anymore. That's not because he's not good enough, it's just because of injury, and we don't really know what to expect out of Derrick Rose anymore. I personally think that he is a very solid starting point guard. He went from averaging 18 points per game, and we have seen him average assists. Now, obviously he hasn't gone averaging assists in the past couple of years, but in 2011 he averaged 8, in 2010 he averaged 7.7. Derrick Rose can be a facilitator. Now, is that his main suit? Definitely not. Derrick Rose has been known as a scorer. Now, when you think about it, Derrick Rose, his best attribute is scoring the ball. Cleveland, their worst part about their team is not being able to score when their star players go off. Combine them, Derrick Rose to Cleveland is a great fit, especially for a six-man. Now, as of now, Kyrie Irving is still the starting point guard for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Derrick Rose, he knows and he has signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers to be the sixth man and the scorer off the bench. Now, to rejuvenate your career, I think this is the perfect opportunity. You get to play on a championship caliber team. You get to showcase what you can do when LeBron James is off, when Kyrie Irving is off, and when Kevin Love is off. You are the man on the Cleveland Cavaliers bench, so you will have your opportunities to score, pound the ball, and do what you do best, which, like I mentioned before, for Derrick Rose is scoring. Facilitating is not his main suit, but he still is a decent facilitator, not amazing, but decent. But Derrick Rose, what he is best at is getting inside the lane, finishing with contact, and obviously he's not like the MVP Derrick Rose that we wish he was. He doesn't get inside and do acrobatic layups as he used to anymore, but he can still get in the lane and finish with tough contact, and we saw it last year in New York. 18 points per game isn't a bad start for a guy who's trying to make a comeback in his career. And when you think about it, last year he scored 18 points as a starting point guard with Carmelo Anthony. Let's say Kyrie Irving is traded, dealt with for another big man, Derrick Rose will be the starting point guard. If Derrick Rose is the starting point guard playing alongside LeBron James, I think instead of Carmelo, Derrick Rose can go from averaging 18 points per game to around 22 to 24 points per game, alongside LeBron James, who, well, has a completely different mindset that Carmelo Anthony does. If Derrick Rose can average around 22 to 24 points per game, if he's a starting point guard in Cleveland, then he's gone from averaging 18 to averaging 24, which is pretty much exactly what Kyrie Irving averaged this season. Think about that for a second. In saying that though, Kyrie Irving is still the starting point guard in Cleveland. So, with that being said, Derrick Rose is playing that 6-man and bench role, which is exactly what Cleveland needs because, as you all saw in last year's NBA Finals, every time LeBron James went off the court, it was not Kyrie Irving who stepped up, it was not Kevin Love who stepped up, in fact, it was no one who stepped up. Cleveland would go on massive droughts when LeBron James was off the court, but now with Derrick Rose, that problem may be solved. Now, what does it mean for Cleveland? Because in my opinion, they don't lose in this situation. They signed a guy that was costing them $2 million to sign. He's proven in the past that he can be an MVP, and if miraculously he rejuvenates his career, turns it around, you've got a star player in Derrick Rose. Now, obviously, I can say this a million times, it is the biggest what if. But it's also another what if that he may not get injured like he used to ever again, considering, well, history shows in the past 2 seasons, he's averaged over 60 games that year. In 2015, he averaged 66. In 2016, last season, he averaged 64. So, with that being said, this season, he's projected to average 60 games this season, not to mention he's done that playing as the starting point guard, which is going to have more wear and tear on you as the year goes on. If he's on the bench, well, who's to say that he can't play 70 games or 80 games this season? That's my philosophy there. But let's say Derrick Rose doesn't get injured. Well, Cleveland just got a guy that cost them $2 million to sign? Are you serious? I don't think Cleveland loses in this situation. As for the rest of the NBA, does the Cleveland Cavaliers signing Derrick Rose mean that Kyrie Irving is officially going to be gone from Cleveland next season? Well, who knows? Because let's say Cleveland does decide to trade Kyrie Irving. Now they have their starting point guard in Derrick Rose. They have their shooting guard in J.R. Smith. LeBron James is the small forward. Maybe trading Kyrie Irving for a big man like DeMarcus Cousins. Well, then you still got Derrick Rose, LeBron James, Kevin Love, and DeMarcus Cousins. And with that lineup, you can't tell me that Cleveland won't be competing for another NBA championship in the Eastern Conference. And to match up against Golden State, well, the one flaw that Golden State has is their big man. If DeMarcus Cousins and Kevin Love can play ultimately better than what they have been playing in the past, especially Kevin Love, but let's say DeMarcus comes to Cleveland, I would almost back Cleveland to be a decent team going to the NBA Finals next season up against the Golden State Warriors. And then in New Orleans, you've got Kyrie Irving paired up with Anthony Davis. You can now trade away Drew Holiday for a solid small forward or shooting guard. I think it's a win-win scenario. So does the Derrick Rose signing have a huge effect on the rest of the NBA? Nobody really knows, but in my opinion, it definitely could, because Cleveland has received their decent point guard in Derrick Rose, and a guy that they can use for this last year before LeBron and him going to next year's free agency, and then we have a massive talking point in the 2018 season for Cleveland. But as of now, they're actually not in a terrible situation that everybody makes them out to be in. For him though, it's a big year for him. For Cleveland as well, it's a huge year for them. Because if they lose LeBron James, well, they're pretty much going to suffer the consequences. So, Kyrie Irving, who are they going to trade him to? Is he going to be traded? There's a whole lot of questions that need to be answered, but in the end, we don't know anything. We can only speculate. With that being said, let me know down below in the comment section what you think about this Derrick Rose signing. Because obviously, Cleveland had a pretty big signing, but let me know down below what you think about it. Obviously, if you guys enjoyed this video and you like NBA content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell next to my subscribe button so you guys can receive notifications every time so you don't miss a video. And if you guys want to leave a like, that would be awesome. Thanks for all your support. All those new subscribers, I really appreciate you guys joining the Nick Smith Nation. And with that said, let me know down below what you think about Derrick Rose signing with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm out. Peace. And I'm gonna buck us again. Maybe not.